When you hear the word school safety, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's probably metal detectors, locked doors, physical threats. But what if the most common danger in schools is actually invisible? Today, we're going to break down what it really means for a student to feel safe enough to actually learn. Wow. For so many of us, this quote it hits home, right? School isn't always remembered for the pep rallies and the fun times. For a lot of people, it's a place that can leave some pretty deep emotional scars, ones that stick around for a lifetime. And that feeling, that's right at the heart of what we're talking about today. And that really is the central question, isn't it? We spend so much time and energy focused on physical safety that we can completely miss the more quiet, more constant danger, the emotional threats that happen in classrooms and hallways every single day. Okay, let's dive right in. What exactly is emotional safety? Because, it's not some vague feel-good concept. No, it's a real, tangible environment with very, very specific qualities. It's really as simple and as profound as this. Emotional safety is a place where you feel secure enough to take a chance intellectually. It's knowing you can ask a weird question, make a mistake, or just be your nerdy self without worrying about being humiliated or laughed at. And this isn't just a nice to have. It is the absolute foundation that all real learning has to be built on. This iceberg visual, it's honestly the perfect metaphor. The physical threats, that's the tip of the iceberg. It's what we all see, it's what makes the news. But underneath the surface, that's where the massive, unseen part is. The world of emotional threats. That's the daily current that can just wear a student down, one painful moment at a time. Now, this is where we shift from feelings to facts, from the philosophical to the biological. Because these emotional threats, they aren't just hurt feelings. They trigger a very real, very physical reaction deep inside our brains. So this process is what scientists call an amygdala hijack. Think about it. A student hears a sarcastic comment from a teacher or just sees a look of disgust, and their brain's ancient survival system just takes over. The amygdala, that little smoke detector, starts screaming danger long before the logical part of the brain, the cortex, even has a chance to figure out what's going on. And that is why you can't just tell someone to calm down. Their biology has already taken the wheel. So during this whole stress response, the brain gets absolutely flooded with a chemical called cortisol. And look, cortisol is great if you're trying to escape a tiger, but in a classroom, it's basically poison for learning. So here it is, the bottom line. When a student feels emotionally unsafe, their brain is biologically incapable of learning. It's not that they don't want to, they can't. Cortisol literally shuts down the parts of the brain needed for problem solving and critical thinking. It just slams the door. A threatened brain cannot learn, period. All right, let's move on and see how this becomes a bigger system-wide problem. Because these little moments of fear, they aren't just random. Often, they're accidentally built right into some very common and sometimes well-intentioned classroom habits. This quote from a real teacher just perfectly captures this huge misunderstanding of how our brains work. As we just saw, you can't check your feelings at the door. That's not a thing. Trying to separate emotion from learning is like trying to separate wetness from water. It's literally impossible. Just think about how common some of these things are. Reading grades out loud, a teacher's quick flash of impatience, not giving a student enough quiet time to think. Each one might seem like a small thing, but they add up. They create this environment where that amygdala hijack is always a possibility, keeping students' brains on high alert instead of in a state where they can actually absorb new information. So, what's the solution? What's the way out of this? Well, it's not about just stopping a few bad habits. It's about a deep, fundamental shift in the entire culture of a school, getting away from managing behavior and moving toward nurturing human beings. This table just lays it all out so perfectly. On the left, you've got the controlling school. It runs on fear and rules, and it's all about preventing trouble. But on the right, you've got the connecting school. It runs on relationships and trust. It motivates students by helping them find good things to strive for, and it operates on the belief that there's enough success to go around for everybody. It's a total game changer. And here is the most powerful part of this whole conversation. Creating this kind of school, it isn't about some giant, expensive new program. It's not one big thing. It's a million tiny little things. It's handing back a paper privately. It's waiting that extra second for an answer. It's a genuine smile on a Monday morning.
So that really leaves us with this final question, because this isn't just about teachers and principals. Whether you're an educator, a parent, a student, or honestly just a person out in the world, you have the power to make the space around you just a little bit safer for someone else's brain. So what small, intentional act will you choose to do today?